Hey there, happy Sagittarius season. This is your reading for your sun, moon, and rising sign placements between November 22nd and December 21st in 2025. Welcome back to Embodied Astrology. My name is Renee. If we have not met before, thanks so much for tuning in with the channel. Just a quick announcement before I get to your season ahead. My 2026 year ahead readings are now on sale. These annual readings provide in-depth insight and embodied integration to help you make the most of the opportunities and work skillfully with the challenges of the upcoming year's most important transits, retrogrades, and eclipses. And for the astro lovers in your life, these readings also make excellent gifts. And if you've been interested in getting a personal reading from me, now is your chance. Or you might be interested in getting a reading with one of my amazing students, who I will say are also quickly becoming my teachers because they are truly brilliant. And we've organized a raffle through Sagittarius and Capricorn season to raise funds for one of our beloved Jamaican colleagues at Embodied Astrology, whose family and community were intensely impacted by Hurricane Melissa. So throughout this month and next, you can enter the raffle by donating directly to one of the fundraisers we're supporting and sending us your donation receipt. This is an exciting reading raffle. We have super skilled, highly intuitive, intelligent, insightful, funny, kind, compassionate astrologers and tarot readers who have so much to offer. And whether or not you win a reading, your donation will mean so much to folks who've lost so much. So please consider entering. You can find all the information you need to enter the raffle or get your 2026 year ahead reading in the show notes below. Okay, so let's get into your reading, and definitely make sure to stick around after the reading because I have a few more things to tell you about how you can get involved with me or with Embodied Astrology. Welcome to Sagittarius season. I am glad you are here and I'm so glad to be with you. Your Sagittarius reading is a special gift. It is a little bit different than my usual style of reading. I am not going to make the meaning for you. I am going to offer you a guided journey and an opportunity to really make the meaning for yourself through some reflection prompts, because Sagittarius season is a very interesting and dynamic season. We enter into the season with Mercury in its storm, getting ready to station direct, which it does on November 29th. And Saturn is stationing direct in the first couple of days of Sagittarius season. Neptune is stationing direct later on in December. And then Mercury is leaving its retrograde shadow right before the Sagittarius new moon. So there is a lot of momentum building through this season that is contributing to increasing clarity and inspiration and direction on a collective level and certainly on a personal level. But this momentum and clarity definitely needs reflection, and it needs kind of recollection of some of what has been happening in these cycles of planetary motion. So the last month or so of a Mercury retrograde cycle needs you to reflect on it. The last 2.5 years of Saturn in Pisces need you to reflect on it. Same thing with Neptune. Neptune entered Pisces in 2011. And Neptune and Saturn both made a move into Aries this year. They've both retrograded back into Pisces. Pisces is your opposite sign, so it's kind of like your other half. Like, you don't really get to do your thing without the Pisces part of you doing its thing. And these are significant transits. They are moving through one of your cardinal houses, and they've been here for a long time. And once they turn direct, they are moving on and into Aries, and they will not be back to this part of your chart in the zodiac for quite a while. Neptune you'll never see again in your life in Pisces. It is going to take about 1.5 centuries to come back here. So maybe in another lifetime. Saturn, if you live another 30 years, will come back to this place in your chart, but that's a long chunk of time, and a lot is going to happen between now and then. So working with this planetary motion is helpful. in my opinion, to work with some of the really big energies of transition and transformation that are setting the tone for 2025 and 2026. As I'm sure you've noticed, a lot of people are going through a lot of things. The collective, the world is going through a big crisis moment. There is a lot of endings and hopefully also some really beautiful new beginnings. And this is what we want to call in. So I am going to offer you a guided meditation reflection journey. This is a writing ritual. We are going to take the cue from Mercury. Mercury rules writing and communication. And there's something very special that happens in the mind and eye to hand coordination and actually writing things down. And if you don't handwrite, but you type, that's totally fine. But there is a spell that we want to cast for ourselves to really help us move forward. So I'm going to invite you to get a pen and paper and to find yourself a comfortable place to be. I know that a lot of people tune in with horoscopes while they are in commute or in motion or washing the dishes or something like that. So if you want to just listen through once, that's great, but please come back and be intentional about this practice. And if you can, really make time for it, to be with it, and to be with it as you would a meditation or some kind of divination session, because you are your own oracle. All right? All right. So find a comfortable place to be. If it feels safe and okay, close your eyes. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, let your vision widen and soften, and start to tune in with your breath. Take some nice, deep breaths. And as you inhale, you might want to stretch or move your body, just come into your physical awareness. As you exhale, relax any amount that you can, releasing any amount of muscular tension. As you inhale, maybe call to mind any current intentionality, any current wishes or dreams. As you exhale, offer what your intentions and wishes are to the moment. Maybe this next reflection can help you with them. And then one more inhale. As you inhale, feel into your front body. And as you exhale, really allow yourself to become aware of your back body. And for the next few breaths, breathe in a way that brings more awareness into your back body. Extend your consciousness into the space behind you. Now shifting your attention into the front body, breathing into the space ahead of you. Let's broaden and widen the container of time into the far off future of 2038. 13 years from now, Virgo. Imagine, where will you be? Now, a lot is going to happen in 13 years. So many things that we cannot know, cannot predict, cannot plan for. Any of us may or may not be here, and some of us know already that we won't. So if you know that in 13 years you will no longer be here in body, then please imagine how your spirit will continue to resonate and emanate, how your energy will continue to translate and influence all who you have left behind and all that you have affected in your life. If you think it's possible that you might still be here in 13 years, then let's fill up our imaginations with pure fantasy in the best possible way. Let's imagine a beautiful future. Now, in this beautiful future, Virgo, I want you to connect with your own power. I want you to feel into your own center, into your relationship with the earth, with your own integrity, with your deepest sense of self-awareness and self-knowledge. And in that space of feeling empowered, I want to ask you to imagine what it feels like to be in relationship with others. These others may be beings who you already know and maybe who you haven't yet met. These beings might be beings who haven't even yet been born. How does it feel to be in intimate relationships with others? And when I say intimacy, I mean that there is trust. There is room and availability for vulnerability. You can be yourself, and other people can be real with you. Inside of these relationships, they're relationships. You have conflict, you make up, rupture and repair are important parts of the process. But because we are dreaming our biggest dream, we are also going to imagine the most healing outcomes for these processes of rupture and repair. We're going to imagine what it feels like to really trust and be trusted, to really be known and to know, to feel your own power as connection with your true self and with the web of connected life emanating all the way around you and through you. As you tune in with this future fantasy, I want you to imagine the ways that you engage in your relationships around things that are sometimes intense. How does it feel to share secrets? How does it feel to share power? How does it feel to share resources? Virgo, I invite you to dream your best dream. What can you imagine might be possible in the realms of intimacy and trust and vulnerability? What can you might imagine could be possible in the realm of your own power? What can you imagine might be possible in your relationship to the unknown, in your relationship to intensity, to deep emotions? Take your time, pause the recording, take notes, dream your biggest dream of intimacy and sharing, of power and sharing power. As you come back from that dream, Virgo, let's pull the container of time a little bit closer. I'd like to invite you to forecast forwards just 2.5 years. Imagine into 2028. Now, 2028 still has a decade to go before we get to that fantasy of 2038. And in the next 2.5 years, we can make some practical moves that could lead us in the direction of where we want to get in 2038 if we're going to arrive in that beautiful fantasy and imagination of what could be. In the next 2.5 years, from now until 2028, I'd like you to now imagine what kinds of courage and commitment you are going to need to start to build some of these pathways of trust and containers for vulnerability and intimacy. In these next 2.5 years, what do you need to know? And what do you need to care about when it comes to your own boundaries, to your limitations, to your needs, and the ways that your boundaries and limitations and needs get mixed up in other people's energies? In these next 2.5 years, what kinds of practices do you want to be practicing all the time, consistently, when it comes to sharing? Sharing space, sharing time, sharing resources, and sharing information, and sharing energy, and maybe sharing your body, maybe sharing your heart, maybe sharing what you deeply, deeply care about in collaborative projects or something like that with others. So, pause the recording, take as much time as you need, and take some notes. Contemplate for yourself the responsibilities the dedications, the commitments, the actual labor, and the things that you can do now and in the near future, that if you practice them over time consistently, could set a groundwork for where you might arrive in a fantasy in 2038 and realize that your dreams have come true. Okay, Virgo, now we are going to pull the container of time closer and closer and closer. And here I'd like you to project forward 5 or 6 months. Let's think through until the beginning of May in 2026. We are projecting into Taurus season, Gemini season of 2026. 5 or 6 months from now, what have you been focusing on, putting your mind towards, concentrating with, in ways that help you do the work that you are going to need to do in the next 2.5 years, and probably longer, to get to that dream of 2038? In the next 6 months or so, what helpful messages or mantras or affirmations or reminders can support and assist you in showing up for this work that you want to commit yourself to in the next 2.5 years, and can help you stay focused on the dream, even though it's still a dream, of what might be to come? In the next 6 months, what are the kinds of messages and internal affirmations that will help you organize and integrate your mind, body, heart, and spirit in ways that help you attend to this work of building a foundation for new and different kinds of intimacy and trust? Take your time, pause the recording. Please write down messages, mantras, and affirmations. Remind yourself what you want to be doing, what you want to be paying attention to, how you want to be practicing, and why. All right, my Virgo friends, now we are going to pull the container of time back into the present moment. Here we are in the here and the now. Take a moment, breathe deep, stretch your body, move around, look around, come into your space. Here you are. The time is now. We just took a journey into the past and into the future. And my hope is that this journey produced some pieces of information that you will continue to work with and contemplate and digest and absorb. And to conclude this reading, I want to give you 2 much shorter timeline spans to implement these practices. So depending on when you're listening, this may already be past, but if you're listening at the beginning of Sagittarius season, then put your focus towards the full moon in Gemini on December 4th. Now, that full moon in Gemini is a full moon that really wants you to dream your biggest dream of what your life could be. This is a full moon that is asking you to conceive of big changes that might be wanting to happen in your life. As I've already talked about, maybe you need to listen back to Scorpio season, don't remember when I talked about it, but there are some changes that are happening in your life path, potentially your career, potentially your vocation, but in the way that you are here and how the way that you are ripples out and becomes what you're doing with your life, there are some big changes that are happening. So this is a mental adjustment kind of point. So the full moon on December 4th, as you move towards it or as you experience the days around it, please work with your mantras and your messages. This is a very cool time to be helping your neural pathways connect in new ways And working through language and repetition and the ways that we speak to ourselves is so effective. I also want to say that this is a time when the universe is listening to you and life is listening to you. And you might just put it out there every morning when you wake up. These are my mantras. These are my affirmations. Universe, help me to clarify them, help me to refine them, help me to support them and understand them more deeply, and let the universe know what you're looking for when it comes to the kinds of information, clarification, affirmation, confirmation that can help you really believe in your own messages, mantras, and affirmations. Between the full moon on December 4th and the new moon on December 19th, new moon in Sagittarius happening right as Mercury is finishing its retro shade, I want to invite you to get really practical in your actions. This is small decisions, small choices, and ways of being. And here we are thinking about manifesting and materializing around your intentions. So your mantras, your affirmations, your messages of why you are moving in the ways that you are moving really need to get grounded right now. I want to invite you to make space in your home that can help you connect with this kind of intentionality. You might have an altar that you're working with. You might want to just put your mantras up all over your house so that you can see them. And in your actual home, in your physical environment, I invite you to begin to practice living these messages with anyone who you might call family, whether they are in your physical location or not, even if they're in spirit. I want to invite you to begin practicing the affirmations that you are working with. So that means that, let's say you are affirming that you want to open up and trust people more. Start with your immediate environment. Start practicing in the ways that you organize your space. Start practicing in the ways that you greet your neighbors. Start practicing in the ways that you call your mom, right? In the most immediate places of your life, in your home, in your family, in the ways that you feel your immediate environments and locations. Start to make practical actions that help you embody your intentions. Now, as we move into Capricorn season, a whole lot of energy is shifting and moving around. 2026 is bringing enormous change on collective and personal levels. And if we are preparing to meet those changes with intentionality and energetic resonance, we're going to be ready to take the opportunities and not be caught off guard so much. Now, if you listen back to your Scorpio season reading, I talked to you a lot about taking the opportunity. Now is the time for you to take the opportunity. And the opportunity is waiting for you, and is waiting for you in the ways that you are shifting your relationships and growing in your consciousness of relating. So I hope that any or all of this guided journey that we just went on gives you some little pieces to work with over the course of Sagittarius season and beyond. Please let me know if they did. Your likes, subscribes, and comments really helps me out. It helps the channel grow, and it helps me keep offering these free readings and doing this work, which I love to do and I have to do. Maybe you're a reader also and a channel, and you just know, like, if this is the path that you're called on, then you've got to do it. And there's not really any other options, and that's definitely how I feel. So if you appreciate what I do, please share the love, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know how this reading resonates for you. I do read my comments. I love reading my comments because it helps me connect with you and remember that beyond this screen, there are actual living, breathing bodies. And we are moving through these crazy times together. And I honor and bow to you for all the hard work that you are doing in your life right now. I know that a lot of Virgos are going through some big shifts and changes in their lives. There are definitely some challenges y'all are working with, and there's a lot of opportunity to up-level and grow, particularly in the realms of your closest relationships and most important communications. And so I hope that this transmission serves you in any of those ways. Virgo, I'm wishing you all the best in Sagittarius season and beyond. Bye for now. I hope you enjoyed your Sagittarius season reading. Thank you so much for listening. If you're still here and you enjoyed your reading so much that you want to play around with embodied astrology with me, I hope you can join me sometime for my weekly virtual class, Somatic Space. You can catch me live on Zoom every Monday, where we tune in with the lunar cycle, solar season, and transits for the week ahead, and work with gentle mind, heart, body practices that prepare us to meet what's coming with skill and style. And you can always get the recording if you can't attend live. There's also so much more going on at Embodied Astrology, including our weekly chart reading study groups, which are amazing, nurturing spaces where you can learn about your chart and how to read charts for others through relationship and conversation. We also offer seasonal workshops timed to support you with current astrology. Our next upcoming workshop is in Capricorn season on January 3rd's Cancer full moon, and it's called Care is in Your Hands with Daniel Addy. I'm really excited for this workshop, and I think it's going to be very on time, as the astrology at that point is really encouraging us to care deeply for our inner worlds and take care of our structural support. Daniel is a longtime astrology lover and astrologer, as well as a fantastic body worker and massage therapist, and someone who I've been working with now for almost 5 years, and who has helped me so much in my personal healing path. Daniel is a Capricorn, and you might know that Capricorn's energy has a lot to do with our bones, skeletons, and postures. In this full moon workshop, Daniel will be teaching accessible self-massage practices that we can use throughout the year to tend to the parts and places in our bodies that are most prone to postural stress and pain. All of our offerings at Embodied Astrology are always sliding scale, with additional scholarships provided for those experiencing financial difficulties. So there's no excuse really to miss this workshop. Your back, your shoulders, your hips, and your neck, and maybe your friends' bodies will all thank you. So once again, find everything you need to connect with me and learn more about Embodied Astrology's offerings in the show notes or at embodiedastrology.com. All right, friends, thank you so much for being here. I am wishing you all the best in your Sagittarius season journeys. Bye for now.